Well, the NBA Finals begin tonight, and even though the Minnesota Timberwolves will not be there, a Minnesotan will be on the court. Before he was a starter for the Western Conference champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren was a tall kid in youth basketball, learning the game with guidance from my next guest. Larry Suggs coached Holmgren on a club team starting in elementary school. Also on that team was Suggs' son, Jalen, who's a point guard for the Orlando Magic. Larry Suggs joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much for being here, Mr. Suggs.
Hey, I'm very happy to be here.
What I love about this story as I was reading about it is, sometimes you'll see a kid and you'll say, this one's going to be a star or this. And I understand that was really not the case with Chet Holmgren. So tell me a little bit about how you kind of came to know him and what you were seeing early on in him.
Well, it's typical, like a rec center day when the kids all come in, you kind of kind of see what team you have, you space the kids out. And,
Yeah.
we're all out there practicing, just having a good time. And, lo and behold, Chet Holmgren comes walking through the door, still long and lanky like he is now, at 7'1". But, you know what I'm saying? It's just in that third grade body. So he comes through the door and walks up to me, shakes my hand firmly. So I knew he's a confident kid. And, I said, hey, if you're here to play basketball and you're ready to go, I said, I'm going to throw you in the fire. So he jumped right in there. So
Yeah,
it was fun.
And I did hear, though, it's kind of funny that you said, think of the worst person in your gym class. So it's just comical. What made you, though, see? You said he had confidence. What else kind of made you go, there's something in there?
Well, it was the confidence because, when a young kid comes up and shakes your hand, he still had a nice, firm handshake.
Yeah.
So that part, I knew he wasn't scared or wasn't intimidated. Now, at the time, he believed he was really, really good, but he wasn't really, really, really good. So after he did layups, we did three-man weave, and we did all the basketball practice, he kind of stepped over to the side. I said, hey, what do you think? And he said, hey, you know what? I'm not very good. But I said, if you stick with me and you listen, I said, I can help you become a better basketball player. And then that's where the relationship started.
Yeah, and what positions were you having him play early on? Because it wasn't all about height, right? You were kind of thinking strategically. And where did he kind of start on the team?
So thinking outside the box, I was I'm a big fan of FIBA basketball. So watching the European bigs move and play all positionless basketball. Listen a little bit what Kobe was saying back in the days. So when I had Chet, basically it was like a piece of clay, I always told people, so I could mold that into anything I want. And I told him, I said, I'm going to teach you how to play guard like the rest of the guys that are in here. And it's fun to play guard. And you won't get bored by just sitting on the block. So right away he grasped to that. And he really, really enjoyed getting better, even though it was a struggle. But playing with the good guards, though, he enjoyed being on the perimeter.
Yeah. And then what does he play now? I mean, what is his kind of expertise now? Because it's like you want to know what other people on the team are doing. It helps, right, to know kind of what everybody's doing.
So right now he's like a Swiss Army knife. So
Yeah.
if they want to space him and put him in a corner to bring the other big out, so it gives Shea a little bit of time to drive to the basket, he can do that. If he trails on a fast break, he can pull the big out, shoot the three at the top of the key. And with that, he can pump fake and take straight line drives. That's kind of what the NBA is right now. So he had all that going in his younger years to prepare him for what he's going to basically be in the NBA Finals and have to see in these next 7 games.
And so the relationship that you all have and with your son Jalen, that was kind of more high school time, like at Minnehaha Academy, or were they friends when they were little? What do you think about their kind of progression together? It's really remarkable.
Yeah, so it's the day that Chet's basically walked through the gym doors, he's been at our house the whole time. So I always tell people, the kids can come right in and go in the refrigerator and probably drink out the milk
Aw.
carton. So he's like one of those type of friends, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody can go in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
But no, we all love Chet, and all the guys have all been with him since the third grade. And so we've came all the way up to right now at this point, which, it's crazy, but I could still project it. I told the boys, I said, one of you guys will be in the NBA Finals and one of you guys will win it, So we have a pretty good chance. We had a good group back then of guys that are really talented.
I mean, it's amazing. And also to be at kind of the top of your game and going through a lot of pressures, but to have a friend there from childhood,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really fortunate. Do they help each other out kind of on their journeys? They went to school, to college together for a little bit. What's their friendship like?
So it's funny because all the guys at Minnehaha, they still are in a big group chat. And
Oh, I
yeah,
love that.
so they all talk and stuff like that. And they're such good friends. They all decided that they didn't want to have a youthful look anymore. So they all decided to grow beards. So that's how
Everyone's
good.
got to make that mistake once, I guess.
Yes, yes. So that's how good of friends they are. They all got on this group chat and they said, you know what? We're all going to grow facial hair. So this is what we're going to do. So, no, they have good laughs. And anytime, I want to talk to some of the boys, I just tell Jalen, give me your phone, and then, I'll shoot everybody a text or something like that. So they're all still good friends.
And may I ask, how is Jalen doing? Because I understand he was out with an injury. How's your son?
Now, he's doing well. He just started getting back on the court a couple weeks ago, starting shooting 15-footers and some three-pointers. And he's not really clear to run till August 1st, but that gives us 3 months to get back into action. And we always say he's like the Wolverine. So his nickname back when he was little was Break Bones because we thought he'd break all his bones all the time, but he'd heal up really fast. So he's got like a little Wolverine quality in there.
So he'll be just fine. So I understand you split your time between Minnesota and Florida, and you're actually still doing some coaching work. How does all of that work? How do you balance all that?
Well, we have 40 teams from second grade all the way to 17U, multiple teams in each age group. I run it with Brian Sandiford and Quincy Caldwell.
And this is your nonprofit.
Yep, and the nonprofit is jsizzles.org, and we have girl teams down in Florida. So it keeps us pretty busy. So I try to pop up in town at least twice just to take care of the AAU business and basketball and check in on Minnehaha hoops. I always got to do that.
So did you watch the Western Conference Finals games between Oklahoma City Thunder and Timberwolves? Were you feeling torn? How was that for you?
Okay, I had a lot of phone calls about that one. So I decided I was going to go to the game. So I came down. I sat like second row, like mid-court. And yes, I am a Timberwolves fan. I used to always call them the Timber Puppies, but I'm a Timberwolves fan. And so I wore a Timberwolves hat. And in the honor of Chet Holmgren, I wore a OKC chain that I got from the new NBA store in the Mall of America, which, by the way, is really, really nice.
Yeah. How are you going to be experiencing the NBA Finals and watching Chet? I mean, do you like to be alone? Do you like to be with the family? Take us into the living room, or are you going to be there? What's it going to be like?
So in my living room, I have 3 TVs.
Nice.
I have one for Chet, one for Jalen, and one for Paige. And so
That's so sweet.
yeah. So sometimes we'll have all 3 on all at one point. And I kind of stand up in a corner over by the side, and then I'll have like a basketball. So as the boys and Paige also, as they're playing, I'll be doing the moves in the living room, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And walking back and forth. So it's...
And Paige Beckers, of course, Hopkins grad.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, real good friend of ours, yeah, also.
What do you think makes Minnesota produce all of these amazing athletes? I mean, I'm sure every state, but really these people are like at the top of their game. It's pretty incredible. What do you think it is about Minnesota?
Well, I think it's the combination of the winter. I would have to say that. So we're in the doors 6 months out of the year. And a lot of us are running from our house to the car to the basketball court. And I believe that the coaches here in Minnesota, we teach the game of basketball. I would say the right way. I would say a Midwest style of basketball where it's a lot of movement, and our superstars really don't exceed like 30, 40 points here. Like our superstar might score 22 points, and people really love to see the team chemistry and the good players move the ball around.
So like consistency.
Yes, and then when we branch out into the NCAA teams, they really, really complement a lot of the great players around the other country. So people always say, like, hey, that kid is really good. Where is he from? They'll say he's from Minnesota.
Somewhere cold.
Yeah. I said, hey, we're always in the gym hooping in Minnesota. So we got good ball players.
Yeah. Larry, thank you so much for stopping by. What a beautiful gift you gave to Chet and so many others and recognizing something in them and drawing that out. That's a great coach.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thanks for having me back. I love coming back to Minnesota. It's Minnesota nice.
Thank you. Larry Suggs is a former coach of Oklahoma City Thunder player and Minnesotan Chet Holmgren. The first game of the NBA Finals between the Thunder and the Indiana Pacers starts at 7:30. Thanks for listening to Minnesota Now this week. I'm Nina Moyni.